Welcome back, friends. You'll find this so interesting. There's a new COVID test available called T-Detect COVID, and it's the first and only T-cell test for consumers to detect whether they've had a recent or past COVID-19 infection. Well, joining us now is the person who developed that test, Dr. Lance Baldo, Chief Medical Officer at Adaptive Biotechnologies, as well as Diana Barrett, founder of Survivor Corps, a grassroots movement of COVID-19 survivors. Welcome to both of you. Dr. Baldo, if it's okay, let's start with you. We're so interested to hear about this new test.
No, thanks for having me. So the entire team at Adaptive Biotechnologies is really so excited that just this past Friday, the FDA issued what's called an emergency use authorization for T-Detect COVID. So this is the first clinical test for patients that looks at T cells. So it reads T cells to be able to diagnose past infection. In this case, past or recent COVID-19. The test is available by going to t-detect.com, where everything can be done online except for the blood draw. This is a blood test, and so to get your blood drawn, you can either go to one of about 2,000 LabCorp service centers around the country, or if you prefer to stay home, we could actually send a mobile phlebotomist to your house, a mobile blood draw person to your house. And then about 7 to 10 days later, you'll get a notification via email that your test results are ready, and then you can go into a secure portal and get your result, and it'll tell you whether or not you had COVID-19 in the past.
Well, it sounds like you've made it super convenient. Diana, we're interested to know from you, how does this test help people who suspect they may have had COVID-19?
So, today is actually the 1-year anniversary of my having gotten COVID. And I had to fight tooth and nail in order to get tested a year ago. And I was one of the few people who was actually able to get my hands on an actual test and get a positive result last spring when the tests were so hard to come by and often faulty. And what we've learned is that COVID is, we've learned far that is not the flu. It is. And the long-term effects are more than just your post-viral malaise or, being a little bit tired. It's actually creating damage, organ damage, and it can affect any organ in your system because it is creating vascular and inflammatory damage that can be irreversible. And that can come from even an asymptomatic case, actually particularly asymptomatic cases, which makes it even more important as a patient, as things are getting more complex as we look forward to the future in determining what kind of boosters you need in terms of understanding your own medical profile and your own sort of personal, unique immunological fingerprint. I mean, this is really the Human Genome Project of the immune system. And as a patient, it is going to be more and more vital that we have all of these data points about our own medical situations so we can make the best choices. And this is a key piece of that puzzle.
Well, this is so interesting. It's been a wild ride for so many people. Dr. Baldo, if you could share with us how this test actually works.
Yeah, so this test looks at T cells, which are an incredibly important part of your immune system and often the first line of defense when you get infected. So they're kind of like, the SWAT team or the SEAL team that help protect your body. And they do 3 really important things. One thing is that they help your body make antibodies. The second thing they do is they look for cells that have been infected with COVID-19 and they help to eliminate them. And the third thing that they do is they stick around in your body, they stick around in your blood for extended periods of time. And it's these properties that make T cells a really ideal way to be able to look for recent or past COVID-19.
And you are providing so much support to survivors. Diana, tell us where we can go for more information and to access that support.
Please join us, survivorcorps.com. It's CORPS. And we have an open Facebook group and a website. And if you have recently gotten infected with COVID, please go to gotcovid.org to find out where you can get monoclonal antibodies that will save your life.
Well, thank you so much to both of you. Thank you for your time. We appreciate it. And we'll put all of this on IndieStyle.tv.